Hello and welcome to Beyond American Shores, where Japanese toys are seen and heard. Have you guys noticed that over the last decade or so, there has been 5 series that has used cards in the past? Well, there was Tomika Hero Rescue Force that used cards. For Super Sentai, there was Goseiger, well, Tenso Sentai Goseiger, that used Super Sentai Battle Daiso cards. But the big, notorious user of cards has to be Kamen Rider, having 3 series use cards. There was Kamen Rider Ryuki, or in America, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, that used Advent cards, Kamen Rider Blade, that used Rouse cards, and today's subject, Kamen Rider Decade, using Gambarai cards. Kamen Rider Decade was the anniversary rider to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Heisei era of Kamen Riders that started all the way back in 2000, and he's got a lot of weapons on his hands. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Kamen Rider Decade's Henshin Belt, the Deluxe Decadriver. Okay, so the packaging... Wait a minute. This isn't the Bandai Japan package. This is actually the Bandai Korea version. You might be wondering, is the Korean version of this belt completely different than the Japanese belt? I'll show you the differences in this episode. But let's take a look at the packaging anyway.
On the front of the box, it shows Kamen Rider Decade with the Decadriver. On one side, it shows Kamen Rider Decade posing. On the other side, it shows Kamen Rider Decade with all the 9 Heisei riders that were before him. On the back, it shows instructions on how to use the Decadriver, and also shows advertisements for the Ride Booker and the K-Touch. Now let's take a look at the belt itself, the Decadriver. This was the first time in Kamen Rider history when the belt was known as a driver, and after that, all the Kamen Rider belts are called drivers. The belt itself has got a lot of good detail. The belt itself is supposed to fit the waist of a child. However, if you get some rope, or if you get the Bandai belt extender, then you are able to fit the size of an adult. On the top of the belt, there are letters molded in that spell Decade. On the side, there are some buttons that don't actually do anything, that are actually in clear plastic. Inside the clear paint, there are circles that are painted red, blue, and green. For each of the colors, there's a different pattern. On the front of the belt, it kind of looks like one of those giant cameras. But on the sides, it shows all the 9 Heisei rider symbols. So there's Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Vise, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, Den-O, and Kiva. See this button right here? You can actually hold it down and you can pull out the belt buckle. You're supposed to do this because when you get the K-Touch, you actually can put the K-Touch in place of where the belt buckle was. It does require 2 AAA batteries, but it does not come with the belt. On the bottom of the belt is where the speakers are, so that's where the sound is coming from. And also, when you turn on this switch, it will make this sound. When you pull and push both sides of the belt, they will make this sound. Now let's take a look at the cards themselves. You might be thinking, what? These aren't the actual Gambarai cards? Because they're not. These are actually looking more like the ones that are used in the show. Because it's got English text, and also no stats on the sides.
Now for those who don't know, Kamen Rider Battle Gambarai is an arcade game in Japan that uses cards, in order to play the game. You battle against the computer or 2 players. It's mainly whoever gets the highest stat wins kind of game. And for those who don't have the arcade machine, you can actually get it on the Nintendo DS.
So let's start looking at the sounds. We'll start with the Kamen Rider Kuga card. Oh, I've always wanted to do this. Henshin!
Kamen Rider. Kuga.
Next up, Kamen Rider Agito.
Kamen Rider. Agito.
Next is Kamen Rider Ryuki, or, in America, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
Kamen Rider. Ryuki.
Kamen Rider Flies, or Kamen Rider 555.
Kamen Rider. Flies.
Next is Kamen Rider Blade.
Kamen Rider. Blade.
Kamen Rider Hibiki.
Kamen Rider. Hibiki.
1, 2, 3. Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Kamen Rider. Kabuto.
Hore! Sanjo! Kamen Rider Deno.
Kamen Rider.
Wake up! Kamen Rider Kiva.
Kamen Rider. Kiba.
And finally, the passing through Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Decade.
Kamen Rider. Decade.
Can the Bandai Korea Decadriver actually work with the Japanese Gamba Ride cards? Well, I have a few cards right here. Most of them coming from the Final Form Ride series, and a promo from Kamen Rider Climax Heroes O's for the PSP. I'll try out some of the cards for a few good examples. So let's start with the Decade Complete card.
Kamen Rider. Decade.
It works! I've got a few Final Form Ride cards. Well, let's try one of them. The Deno Momotaro's card.
Final Form Rider.
I've got one more card that I want to try. Kamen Rider O's, of course. So let's see if the O's card works on the Decadriver. Well, it sort of works. I know it doesn't read doubles cards also.
This toy is actually pretty good. It has all the Heisei riders in this belt, and it's got shortened versions of their henshin sequences. That's Okay. However, it can also read the Showa-era riders as well. Awesome. And given that all the Kamen Rider cards that Bandai has released, the possibilities are just endless. Well, okay, it can't read secondary riders, double or O's cards, but this belt is still really awesome. So, final verdict. I give it a good. This version is actually really cool. And it's also got cards that almost look identical to the ones used in the show. Cool. Anyways, I'm the Tokuto Reviewer, and see you guys on the next Beyond American Shores. Reviewer out!